Please consider subscribing, click the like button and notification bell. It is quite possible that we are not the only living intelligence in space. There are many similar, unofficial and unconfirmed stories of closer encounters of the third kind from around the world. From the stories we know, extraterrestrials have a head, 2 legs, 2 arms, they are smaller than humans, their skin is green, they have no hair or clothes, they use unidentified flying objects for transportation, and although they come from different galaxies, they are all somehow similar. As evidence that aliens visited our planet, there are some spectacular relics of bygone eras, constructions that seem to defy the technological possibilities of their time, either because they are too big, too heavy, or too complex, like the Nazca Lines, Egyptian pyramids, Stonehenge, or Moai statues on Easter Island. Science claims that life on Earth began more than 3 billion years ago. Nobody knows how this came about, but it is believed that under certain conditions, temperatures, pressures, or radiation, life could have originated from non-living elements such as carbon, nitrogen, and hydrogen. In any case, earthly intelligence is unthinkable without life, and in order to communicate with other worlds, we need our intelligence, which we have to support in eating, drinking, and breathing, the same elements from which we were actually once created. The periodic table currently has 118 elements. The Earth is mainly made up of a few of them: iron, carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. But scientists realized that space was full of chemicals. Astronomers have identified more than 200 different types of compounds floating in space, often very different from what scientists see on Earth. As it turns out, the seemingly myriad combinations of chemical compounds found on Earth are only a tiny fraction of what scientists find in space. Many of these space links could never exist on Earth and could contain clues as to how the building blocks of life came about. It is also very likely that these different chemicals can, under different conditions in space, lead to unknown life forms that are different from those on Earth, and that these life forms can produce a different type of intelligence. Unfortunately, the human imagination is very limited. The only thing we can think of is just that small part of nature that we have already discovered with insignificant modifications, nothing else. We cannot even imagine intelligence without life. We are familiar with artificial intelligence, but only with the one we have developed, not the other way around. The initial simple notion that the aliens look like smaller humans seems very naive. If there are living things in space, they can either be much larger, much smaller, or even completely invisible to our senses. We cannot imagine what materials the aliens could be made of, even if they had to consume the same elements to support their intelligence as we do. Imagine or not, it is claimed that space is infinitely vast, and researchers suggest that our galaxy could contain hundreds of thousands of life-sustaining planets, and that some of them could be just a few hundred light years away from us. In any case, it can easily be that the terrestrial concept of life and intelligence is not the only concept that exists in space. Therefore, it is very unusual for our planet to have no communication, at least with other Earth-like planets nearby. We can ask ourselves, is it a problem in our technology or in our heads? We can't just keep waiting for our green friends to come with UFOs and talk to us, even though they may have been communicating with us imperceptibly for millennia. Thank you for watching. See you next time.